You know, it's funny. I think that RVing is so much easier for us when we don't stop at a place
For very long.
for like days and kind of unpack, when we don't unhook the truck. Doesn't it seem so much? We spent a good amount of time today just like finding things, organizing things. We've been kind of lackadaisical, you know, like.
I did do a lot of laundry this morning, though.
Did do laundry,
That took
which
a lot of our time.
was very kind of your brother and his wife to let us crash and, you know, park there. We about a little over a week.
Yeah, about 10 days.
Yeah. So, but it's weird. It's a whole different vibe when you like stop and you unhook and all that. When you unpack, that's not the hard part by any means. You know, you set everything together. But when you're packing back up, and you know, obviously you have to hook up the truck, you have to get the cables right. Not a big deal, chains and all that, and that's fine. But also, it's all the little things, right? So everything has to get put away inside. Whereas, you know, typically our normal condition is things are like put away as soon as they're used, right? And so that's kind of a little bit of a hassle, especially dealing with these stupid. Because if you leave those in there on accident, they're gonna knock into everything, and everything but those will dent. But yeah, you got your power cable, and we don't usually use a hose, but that was a factor when we left the RV park. Even something as simple as like, hey, what about our chairs? You know?
Yeah, which we did leave behind last summer at my cousin's house.
Yeah.
So
That was a bummer, but these are nice chairs too. So.
yeah.
Next time we lose them, though, it's a good excuse to. Costco has some pretty nice chairs. It's very comfortable chairs. It's just a matter of.
We don't need them right now.
Yeah. Today's video won't be all super exciting. Just a little travel day here, but I thought I'd bring you guys along. I showed you guys, Sam is completely healed up. Colt's ears are kind of come and going, and he's on the mend right now. So yeah. I think we just got to continue with the apple cider vinegar water combo. We need to just keep doing it long past we think it's gone. My favorite place in the world. And by the way, we didn't get like a pretty like welcome to Indiana sign, did we?
No, because we came through the back way.
We spent way longer driving than I was expecting. Now there is a lot that we want to do out here. I mean, obviously RV factory tours are one of our favorite things to do. I love them. You guys seem to love them as well. And I think they're very insightful as to how things are put together. Being put together is not the entire story, right? It's what components are being put together. Now, interestingly, our trailer is sort of I might say a dual citizen of sorts, right? Like obviously, it's got a Canadian soul, but you know, the good majority of any components in there are made in, well, either made in the US or they are Chinese. Maybe triple citizen, in fact.
Maybe.
I mean, products like Norcold and Lippert, right? Especially frames, you know, things like that. What is it? 99% of them in North America are sourced here.
Yeah.
Something to that effect. So I think we can do a little exploring with that. If nothing else, you know, ask a couple questions, get some footage and whatnot. Actually, so Furion and Lippert, I believe, are the same company. We got in late, so there's nothing really to see here. This is their corporate headquarters for Lippert. It is a really cool building. We've shown this a few times, but for some reason the LED track, we don't have that on today. Womp womp. Actually looks like a showroom of sorts. That would be interesting to check out. This might be an Alliance trailer, if I'm guessing correctly. They do have one product that I would love to test out. We talked about it a few times, but they have an air conditioner that I think would be really cool. Maybe we can get them to
sponsor us.
Just beg and plead. Please, I really want an air conditioner. I don't know. We want that mini split efficiency. Really, it's all, the name of the game with the air conditioning is efficiency, right? How much cold are you putting out versus, you know, how many watts is it taking? 120 ACs can definitely push more than 12 volt air conditioners. I mean, just kind of in general, if you're running the way that we are, you're not going to be running a regular, you know, what, 13.5, 15 kBTU unit.
Yeah.
It's just not practical in our circumstance, but they have a model that I suspect might be more practical. Oh, look at these guys. Oh. Emma does not love geese.
Emma doesn't even like geese. It's not even about loving them, it's about liking them. I don't even like them.
The Hall of Fame over here, Lippert over here, and Thor's headquarters right here. It's kind of a new, well, this I think is a slightly older building, but they're adding on, and it is kind of interesting because I don't know if they're just like repurposed, like if they just purchased it or if it's a new lease or whatever they're doing, right? But interestingly enough, even though obviously at least a good portion of this building is not already open yet, they have some negative reviews already. People are very passionate about Thor. Now, Thor Motor Coach is a subsidiary of Thor. Thor owns everything. And for example, we talked about Airstream. They own Airstream. They have owned Airstream for a very long time. Actually, if it wasn't for Thor, Airstream would not exist.
But Thor kind of leaves Airstream alone for the most part.
And a lot of the companies are like that. They also own Jayco. And so, man, they own a lot of companies actually.
Yeah.
But interestingly, you know, Winnebago, a lot of people don't realize Winnebago owns Grand Design and Newmar. But Newmar, especially, Winnebago is very much, you know, hands off with that. And then you have Forest River, who owns, you know, the other half. I think Thor's probably the biggest of the companies. Yeah. Forest River is like a very close second, but it is very interesting. And that's the kind of stuff, that drama, you know, of like, oh, this company's better and we're gonna buy this and that's, I just like that. I just love it.
Joel loves to sip the tea.
Actually, something I noticed last time we were here, we don't really go to Forest River factories.
We don't.
For whatever reason, we don't go to their factories for tours.
Well, we tried to, but they weren't open at the times we could go last time.
Yeah. Now, I think Keystone is a Thor factory, but Keystone's a big player. I don't know. That might be kind of something that we look for specifically is, like, does Forest River do it differently? Now, I know some folks will say, oh, Thor's got, you know, worse or better player. You know, it's about the person making the rig, which I do agree with. The big facet is materials. A big facet is who's putting your stuff together. However, apparently people will fly, you know, back and forth. So they spend 1 month here and then they take a break and they spend another month over there. The workers don't seem to discriminate as much. It's just who gives them the bigger bonus.
Right.
And, you know, who's paying. So that's kind of the name of the game here. It's because of a lot of piecemeal work. It's almost exclusively piecemeal work, actually.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate, in the product oftentimes shows. So I look forward to actually exploring some of that.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But while it is an easy headline, and it is a very attractive headline, people, oh, I'll never buy another RV, you know, RVs are terrible and nobody should ever buy one. And like, yeah, I get why people would say that, but the reality is it's not practical. And they're not all built like crap, obviously. But yeah, most of them are gonna need some good work, which actually, it's all the comparison, this versus this versus this. And I gotta say, I think we've been the happiest with this rig that we have today.
I agree.
But I also like to see, like, why things are the way they are, why aren't they the way we think they should be, and like what works, what doesn't work. And ultimately, like, I kind of get it, right? Like, houses need a lot of work too.
Right.
We have found out on multiple occasions, houses need a lot of work, but you know, sometimes that's worth it. Sometimes, and so like for us, it's definitely worth it for our home to need a little work every now and then.
Yeah.
But there is a line. There is a line. When your walls start falling off, that's definitely a line for us, for example.
Yeah.
So, but why? Why do they fall off? What could they be better? That's what we want to explore here. These are sort of the thoughts that are coming to my mind. This is what I love about it here. It's just so interesting. It's kind of, it's like a clubhouse for kids, right? You know what I'm talking about. Kids love clubhouses. RVs are sort of like a clubhouse on wheels for us.
See, I kind of see it like Disney World, where like you have your different like sections of Disney World, right? And everybody kind of has their favorite. And so like, yeah, they're kind of fun, they're kind of cool. You want to go see your favorite though.
In terms of your RV, like the RV factory tours?
Yeah, and I think like that, but also like...
It's not where I was going with this.
Like my favorite is the museum.
It's not a factory tour.
It's not a factory tour. I prefer the museum though.
You know,
because you get to see it all in one shot. You get to see the whole history. I'm more of a history gal myself. I don't really care about the ones that don't pertain to me right now.
That is fair. Actually, we had so much interest, for example, in Holiday Rambler or Integra Coach when we own those products, right? And that's just the nature of everything, right? Why are you going to invest emotional or, you know, some of your memory storage in a product that you don't own? However, I will say, Airstream is one. I love taking the factory tour.
I do like the Airstream factory tour, but I also like it because they have all of the history in front of it.
A new history museum. It's actually quite incredible.
So I like to go to the museum, then go take the tour. Like, it makes sense to put them together. You know,
and we don't sip the Kool-Aid anymore. We don't. Like,
we
know
don't.
We've owned 2 of them. I don't see us ever owning not a new Airstream. Definitely not a new Airstream.
I see us holding an old Airstream, not a new Airstream.
Restoring one, yeah. But knowing that, it's still so cool, right?
Yeah.
I think that we know the product in and out. You know, most of it. You know, most of it in and out. You know, and knowing that, and still, there's a sort of a fascination still with it.
Yeah.
Like some of you guys love the Thor Vegas, the Thor Axis. You want to see how they're made, which we did a video on that last year. And some of you guys are really interested in like fifth wheels and Alliance, which we also did that one last year. So what can we get into this year that some folks would be interested in?
Yeah, I think I'd rather see things that we didn't already see.
Yeah.
Compared to last year.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, why go do the same thing twice? But
and I actually did really, I think of all the factory tours we did last year, I think Alliance was my favorite.
Yeah, you can pick and choose like, oh, I like this, I don't like this, and I wish it was this way.
But Alliance is not ashamed of anything that they're doing, and I like that.
Right, and that is, honestly, you know as well, that's something that like, we've actually really tuned our eye to. Yeah. We should say, like, we know, even in some of the factory tours that we have shown, it's not always just about what they're willing to show you, but it's what are they not willing to show you? Right. Cabinetry departments, perhaps? Well, if you know, you know.
Some factories only give you a bird's eye view. They won't let you get near it. Yeah.
And, you know, some of it's for safety reasons, but not always. But anyways, these are the things that like, oh God, I get so passionate about it. It is kind of cool. So this is actually a harvest host area over here. And you have hookups and water, and there's a 2 dump stations actually down there. Where those gentlemen are. We'll probably end up spending at least a few days here. Yeah. At least a few days. One that is completely out of our realm and budget would be Show Hauler. Yeah. Now, interestingly, that is a company that reached out last year. I should email them.
Should email them.
And they wanted us to go, they were like, yeah, come on over. Let's show you some products. So, because I think it was because we did the Super C by like Rev Super C, Renegade. And we liked a lot of what we saw. Yeah. There are a few things, of course, you know, as with anything. And yeah. Maybe that's what we do. Maybe it's not. Got a bunch of tractor equipment over here. Oh, and there's the Furrion motor coach. Let's go check that out. Oh, that's Integra. They have it all painted up nice to match there.
It says Lippert on the front of it. That's a Lippert rig.
That's a Lippert trip? Whoa. It must be like, maybe a Lippert rep?
Maybe.
That's interesting. We saw something similar to that last time too.
Yeah, they have Lippert on the trailer as well.
Fascinating. Oh, maybe they go to shows.
It's an Integra.
Yeah, big old Integra Cornerstone, it looks like. Look at that big old Cornerstone. But people are in that, so let's go check out this one. Furrion design. This one has a freaking, yeah, you can see the hot tub up there and the rails, and I think that's a helipad.
There is a helipad up there.
And then an outdoor, I think this is an indoor-outdoor TV, if I'm not mistaken. I love these wheels. Aren't those something? This is cool. I noticed that they don't go with the fancier like push-button doors or the fob-only doors. And you kind of understand as to why. I like this gray though. This is, we got a wrap up here, but the gray is also kind of nice.
All right, Escape, figure out how to give me a hot tub on top of my trailer.
No joke. Dude, oh, I bet that lights up too. This rig is really interesting. They kept it a little simpler though than others. But what do you kind of notice about the roof up here actually?
It's all one.
What do
big-
you not see?
No seams.
No seam. I believe, now we can't see this, but I believe this is all one piece fiberglass, or if there are seams, they're fiberglassed over. That's kind of interesting. Now we have toured it before. I think we toured it like twice.
Yeah.
It was in the Hall of Fame, and it's an interesting one. It's not the most like impressive, but for like a show rig and kind of like they put a freaking hot tub up there, like that's pretty cool. The manufactured housing part, I think, has actually grown on me way, way more than I ever would have expected. And this is kind of neat, this example of like, this does not look like a manufactured home, right? Like a trailer, like people would expect. But you can go in through all this, and here's a wheelchair ramp, of course. But I mean, this just looks like a nice home, doesn't it? To me, it does. I don't know. Although the outside needs a little pressure washing. And we'll go into these. I find it so neat. Looks like a little crop dust airplane. Oh, fun. And I know some of you guys are probably gonna be like, well, it's the same stuff, you know, different, there's a million videos out there and we've already seen it and they don't change things too often, which is like, how often can you change history? I don't know. But, and these are, I believe all these are donations.
I think they are, yeah.
But,
most of them, at least.
But I don't know, I find it very interesting every time we go on.
Yeah, every time we see something different,
Always see something new.
so I think it's fun.
Or we have different perspectives. Each year you're growing, you're learning, you're, you know, changing preferences. So I actually find it just sort of fun just from that perspective. I love the oak. Oh, what a beauty. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy going on these little adventures with us. See, I know a lot of channels though, they'll do things just for the viewership, but we do make a lot of videos because we hope you guys will enjoy them. Mm-hmm. But they're also just things that we enjoy.
Yeah.
And there are channels out there that it's work for them. But being that we make videos that we enjoy, it doesn't feel like work.
No, it doesn't.
And that's the fun of it. So, you know, I think a lot of people are like, oh yeah, the manufacturers spend a lot of money here. They don't spend all that much money here. Mm-mm. There is the price of admission, of course, so they get some funds from that. But it's not as big of an invested thing as you might expect. And so they don't take in rigs that they're going to need to be fixed up. They take in stuff that it's already in pretty good, showable shape as much as possible. And so some of them are a little bit on the more worn side. But yeah, they don't have the time or the resources to fix them up. This Travco has been here for quite a while, and it looks like it's been loved. I do actually. Would you not cruise around in that?
I would cruise around in that if it was just us. The dogs would be too much.
Okay, well, way bigger than our minivan. But I want to check out this Travco first. This is a beauty. I noticed this like discoloration here, and I wonder why that is. This is an all fiberglass body. Travco was a real good manufacturer from what I recall. This is a Travco 320. I do find it interesting though. This is a little bit newer, I believe, than like a lot of the bubble GM units, but it does have some of that curved glass. That's not a cheap thing to do, But maybe that's part of why, Travco, they didn't really skimp on some of these, making the product more expensive, naturally. And fiberglass is not a cheap process. But I do notice that this is like one large piece of fiberglass. I don't see a seam at any obvious point, so yeah, one of those things. Can we see in it all? But the Chevy van, I like it. Oh, it's by StarCraft, which is now owned by Jayco, which is now owned by Thor. This guy, yeah, I'd chill in this. I would totally, I like how it has actual blinds in there. I don't know. I think the Pleasure Way, they make a nice product.
Yeah, they do. But
they hold their value. Yeah, I mean, it still is the same thing as like a motorhome, where if it's your full-time rig, I don't see us ever going back to a full, like a motorized vehicle necessarily.
No, I don't think so. Not as our full-time rig.
No, I think the trailer just makes good sense. I am, however, very glad that we have our bus and that we've been able to try so many different things, because we can really speak to it, from our perspective at least.
Yeah.
And, it's actually kind of funny, because if you think about it, like especially like travel videos, we only show everything from our perspective, and that's like no duh, right? But it's also, what do we not show? What does not stand out to us? What do we not want to show?
Right.
because of our own perspective. I just think that's interesting. And then you have a very different perspective from me sometimes.
I do.
Often we share this, but I don't know. And ultimately, that's the cool part is like, even if we're exploring cities and, we're gonna eat at different places, or we're going to go down a different street or show more or less nature. Some people hike. Maybe we show more of the junkier sides of the cities sometimes.
Yeah.
Because it's what's important. But anywho, we are back where we started. I'm excited to be here. A lot of blabbing on here.
Yeah.
Anyways, are you guys excited? Leave a comment below, and we will see you in the next video.
Bye, guys.
Bye.